Stormtroopers. They look cool, sometimes. And sometimes their armor can get pretty interesting. In this video, I'm going to look at every Imperial Stormtrooper I can find and rank them in a tier list based on their armor. But before we begin, I want to make it clear that this video isn't meant to be taken super seriously, so please don't crucify me in the comments if I put your favorite Stormtrooper in F tier. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started. Let's kick this off with the standard run-of-the-mill Stormtrooper. I think the design for the regular Stormtrooper is fantastic. It's iconic, it's sleek, I love how intimidating it is. It's just a fantastic design for a galactic army. This design is peak sci-fi for me, so I'm gonna give it an A tier just because it's iconic, it's awesome. I don't know, it's a Stormtrooper. Everyone knows what a Stormtrooper is. Okay, next up we have the TK Trooper. This design is basically meant to be like a precursor to the normal Stormtrooper over here. And, you know, I just don't like it as much. And I get it. It's supposed to be like a transitional armor. It's basically like the first draft of the Stormtrooper armor, at least in canon. It actually came a lot later than the original Stormtrooper design. But I like the idea of it. I just don't love the armor itself. And, you know, I think a lot of that is kind of on purpose. The whole point is that this armor gets replaced by the normal Stormtrooper. So, I don't know. C tier for this one. It's okay, but I don't love it. All right, next up we have the Stormtrooper Commander, and look at him. He's got his little pauldron on, his little orange. I don't know. I like a little splash of color on my Stormtrooper. Yeah, I like it. He's all shiny. He's got his little gun. Yeah, you know, he's slightly less boring than just a normal Stormtrooper. I'm gonna give him A tier. All right, next up we have basically the Empire's equivalent of a traffic cop. I don't think it quite surpasses the original Stormtrooper design for me personally. Next up we have the Shore Trooper, which was introduced in Rogue One, I believe. And these guys they're pretty sick. They're pretty cool. They've cropped up in a couple other Star Wars projects. I think out of a lot of the designs that Disney has created, I think that this is one of the better ones in my opinion. I think a high B tier is fair for this one. I don't know. It's interesting to see a Stormtrooper like that's all tan, just because they're normally, you know, either all white or all black. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Shore Trooper. All right, we have the GOAT, the absolute legend himself, the Lego Stormtrooper. I'm just kind of counting most, if not all, of the Lego Stormtroopers with this one, apart from a couple which I will get to later in this list. I don't know. I think high A tier for the Lego Stormtrooper. He's great, but I think that we have to reserve S tier for the real GOAT, which is the Beach Trooper from Lego Star Wars. This guy gets S tier. He's our first S tier. If you ever played Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, you definitely ran into these guys every once in a while, and they'd just be chilling in a hot tub, and, you know, I respect that. Okay, next up we have the Sand Trooper. They're some of the first Stormtroopers that we ever see. I like them. I think that they are on the same level as the Stormtrooper Commander and the regular Stormtrooper. All right, next up we have the Scuba Trooper, I believe is the name, or the Aquatic Stormtroopers. I don't know. They haven't appeared in a TV show or a movie, and honestly, I'd be okay if the design of this got revised, because it's basically just a scout trooper, but in the water, and I think that's a little bit lazy. It's a little bit lazy to me. I think this one is our first D tier. It's okay. I just wish it was a little more creative. I like the way that the Scuba Clone Troopers look. And I think they're a little more creative than this one. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Empire could do a little bit more. I think they should go give this design a little refresh. But yeah, I don't know. It's okay, but it's just not super innovative. I don't like this design at all, honestly. Yeah, I think we get another D tier. Yeah. I mean, he looks just like the Imperial Cadet, which I also have right here. But I don't know. I don't love some of the Stormtrooper designs that they introduced in Rebels. And I don't even know if this could really be considered a full-on Stormtrooper. This is just like a cadet before officially becoming a Stormtrooper. But I don't know. I think the helmets look a little wonky. Yeah, D tier for both of these. I just don't love the look of their helmets. This guy knows he looks cool. Like, come on, he's got the cool, like, magnet boots, and he's got, like, a full-on, like, scarf. Like, is that a scarf? I don't know what it is. He's got, like, straight-up fur. He's wearing, like, a fur coat. I don't know. I love this design. It's like the most rizzed-up Stormtrooper I've ever seen. Yeah, this guy knows he looks good. Yeah, this one, I don't know. I really like it. This is another one of Disney Star Wars' best designs, in my opinion. I don't know. This might move up, but I think high B tier. I think high B tier is fair. Next up, we have the Wet Weather Stormtrooper. I'd probably put him slightly above the regular Patrol Trooper. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I don't love the look of these dudes. Yeah, I think they're probably below the Mud. I think they're probably below the Patrol Trooper even. I think actually these three were all introduced in Solo. So, yeah, I don't know. They're okay. They just don't look very Stormtrooper-like, and I think that's kind of important for a Stormtrooper ranking, you know? All right, next up we have the Shadow Trooper. And these guys are so freaking cool looking. Like, come on, they're so cool. Yeah, S tier. I don't know, something about the regular Stormtrooper design, but like completely like shiny black. It just looks so cool. All right, next we have another one of the goats. This is the Snow Trooper. Does the Snow Trooper surpass the original Stormtrooper? I don't know. I think they're about equal. I'm going to put them both in A tier. I don't know. These are the designs that all of the rest of the Stormtroopers are based on. And, you know, they have to be in A tier. They're too good. All right, next up we have the Funko Pop Stormtrooper. And this guy just looks shocked. He looks like he's just in disbelief. Something about these original Star Wars Funko Pops, they all look so cursed. Like, this guy looks absolutely dismayed that he exists. Yeah, I think he gets top of B tier, sure. Yeah, he looks great. He looks good. All right, next up we have I forget the name of these ones. I don't know. This one just isn't very creative, especially like we've gotten the Pauldron before, we've gotten the Sand Trooper, we've gotten the Commander. This one just kind of looks like all the other ones, but you know, this one was invented like, I don't know, like 20, 30 years later. Like at this point, come on, let's be a little more creative, right? Like, let's be a little more creative. I'm putting this one in C tier just for unoriginality. You know, it's kind of boring. It looks basically like a normal Stormtrooper, but with like a black pauldron. So I don't know. It looks okay. This is the Incinerator Stormtrooper. And this guy, you might remember him from the Mandalorian. I don't know. I feel like there's a better red Stormtrooper coming up than this one. But I'll put him right below the Shore Trooper. He looks okay. Now these guys are sick. These are the Flame Troopers. I think that these cropped up in Fallen Order, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think they look cool. I think they remind me a little bit of the snow design for like Captain Rex and like the Clone Troopers. They kind of feel a little reminiscent of that. So I don't know. I like this design. I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier. I don't know if it quite gets to A tier level, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Next up we have the Scout Trooper. This is another one of the goats. Yeah, the Scout Trooper. What else can I say? He's got some great scenes in the original trilogy. He's got some great moments in some of the TV shows, and he's even in like a lot of the Jedi games. He's in Fallen Order and Survivor fairly prominently, and I don't know, I just like these guys. There's nothing better than countering one of these guys in Jedi Fallen Order and just like stabbing them through the stomach with your lightsaber in like a weirdly, like a bizarrely brutal fashion. I don't know. They're pretty cool. So I A tier for the Scout Trooper. We have a couple of the like I don't know, like assault tank pilots. These guys cropped up in like the Mandalorian. They also cropped up in the in Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think they're C tier, just because I don't know. They're okay. They don't look super Stormtrooper like. This guy has to move down. I think that it's at least above this, but I think this has to also be in C tier. But yeah, they're both. Yeah, I think C tier. Next up, we have a Riot Trooper. These are basically just normal Stormtroopers, but with like batons and shields. Yeah, not super creative. I'm also going to put it in C. All right, next up, we have the Force Trooper, I think is the name. They're cool. They kind of remind me of the Kashyyyk Troopers. And yeah, I don't know. They're cool. It's like, it's basically a Scout Trooper. I think I like the white on the Scout Troopers just because like it's hilarious to me that they just go to Endor and they're just wearing full-on white armor. It's almost like the Empire's just saying, yeah, we know we're gonna take this planet anyway. We don't even have to camouflage. And so for that, this one goes a little lower because it means that the Empire's actually like trying to be like tactful and like have strategy. And I like it more when they just don't care. Hey man, why are you so sad? Are you okay? What? Who hurt you? Are you all right? This Stormtrooper plushie is hilarious looking to me. He looks so sad. He looks so depressed. You know, I was gonna put him in D tier, but like I feel like I have to put him in C tier just to make him not as sad. Your huge crying eyes, they worked on me. Okay, I'm gonna put you in C tier. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay, in kind of a meta moment, we've ranked a Lego Stormtrooper, we've ranked a plushie Stormtrooper, and now we're gonna rank a plush Lego Stormtrooper. So that's cool. I think this guy actually looks more like a normal Stormtrooper than the plush of the normal Stormtrooper. So he gets to be in V tier. All right, next we have the Shock Trooper. Yeah, we're doing it. S tier. Shock Trooper goes to S tier. I don't want to be super like willy-nilly with my S tiers, but like, come on, he's too good. He's too good. All right, next up we have a Artillery Trooper, I believe. And this guy's cool. He's in like that one episode of The Mandalorian where Boba Fett shows up. I'm gonna put this one right above the Incinerator Trooper. Yeah, that feels right. That feels right. All right, next we have a Cave Trooper. This is essentially just a Scout Trooper, but like with a flashlight on its helmet. You know how I am. I don't. The Stormtroopers that don't really do anything new, they kind of rank low on my lists. And if I gave the Scuba Trooper a low ranking for just essentially being another Scout Trooper, then I feel like I have to give the Cave Trooper a similar thing, especially when a bunch of the other factions have really distinct armor. Next up, we have the Jump Trooper.
Oh, they fly now! They fly now! They fly now!
I mean, I love the idea of a Stormtrooper having a jetpack. It's just, that's inherently cool. You know, I think they could look cooler though, and I think later on, I think there is kind of an evolution. But yeah, I don't know. Both of these, I think, just high C tier for me. Next up, we have the Lava Trooper, and you know, this is a similar story to the Scuba Trooper. It's just one of those Stormtroopers that has never been in live action or in a TV show or animation or anything, you know. And I think that they really, it doesn't help their chances. I'm gonna put it in mid C tier. All right, next up we have the TIE Fighter Pilot. This is another one of the OGs. That being said, I think it's one of my least favorite of the original Stormtrooper designs. And I think I'm gonna put it in high B tier. I know that's a little bit blasphemous. Same goes for Inferno Squad. They're basically just like TIE Fighter pilots, but like with red highlights. I think it's like a slight improvement on the design. And like, to be clear, the pilots look fine. I like the Imperial pilot design. I just think that it isn't quite A tier worthy for me. Next up, we have the 1977 Kenner Stormtrooper action figure. And this guy, his face kind of looks like melted ice cream to me. Normally I like to put these joke entries a little high up just because it's funny to me, but I don't think I can justify it with this one. This one gets D tier. I'm sorry, Kenner. I'm sorry, 1977. I hate to say it, but I think that Stormtrooper action figures are doing a little bit better these days. This is another one of those designs that is just so good. I don't know if it's quite above Scout Trooper, but I definitely think it's A tier, like a solid A tier. These guys, I will say this, these guys definitely look like they're trying a little too hard to be edgy, from just the fact that they're completely ripping off the Shadow Trooper look. And also the fact that, like, whenever they speak, it's super gargled and, like, you can't understand them. And I get that, like, in universe, it's probably to, like, scramble their voice and they can probably hear each other. All right, next up we have the Purge Trooper. This is another design that I think is just super good. I like that this design is, like, reminiscent of the Airborne Trooper from, like, the Clone Wars. And I don't know, I think it just looks really cool. I like the black with the red and the purple. They just look super sick. I'm gonna put them in A tier. I don't know, this is kind of the biggest downgrade of the century for me. This is the Purge Trooper design from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I want to like it more than I do, I guess, is what I'm saying. Yeah, so I think this one, I'm gonna have to put it like, I don't know, like mid B tier. They're okay looking, but I don't know. I don't love them. What happened with this design? Like, this one does not look good at all to me. I don't know. This one's like a low C tier for me. Like, I just don't love it, especially knowing that we had like perfection with the first one, you know? I just feel like the Purge Trooper just progressively gets worse as it goes along. I don't know. All right, next up we have the Sniper Trooper, and I don't know. This one is like just a Scout Trooper with a long gun, and I feel like that's so much wasted potential for a trooper called the Sniper Trooper. Like, come on. I feel like this guy, like, I've been saying it before, but I feel like with the Scuba Trooper and with the Cave Troopers, like, we could do more, you know? And so, I don't know. Not to mention, this guy's like only shown up in like, you know, a random video game, and for that, I think we have our first F tier, you know? It's low poly, it's kind of uncreative. There's just not much to it. I'd love to see this design revamped for something in the future, you know? Next up we have Scar Squadron, or Task Force 99, I think. These guys are basically just like the rip-off Bad Batch. They're not nearly as cool looking as the Bad Batch, and so I don't feel the need to rank all of them individually. I'm just gonna rank them as a collective. And they get a collective Psy from me. And by Psy, I mean C. They get a C from me. Next up, we have just like a standard, like heavy Stormtrooper. And, you know, he's got a big gun. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said before, just not super original. I'm going to put it next to this other kind of generic looking Stormtrooper. All right, now we're talking, okay? Okay, so this, I like this one a lot. This one, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. For any of you guys who've seen Finding Nemo, you know the fish with like the big light bulb like coming out of its head? This Stormtrooper just kind of reminds me of that fish, just because he's got the lights just on his forehead. I don't know. I think he looks a little funny. And for that, he gets B tier, you know, creativity. All right, we have a Crimson Trooper, not to be confused with the Sith Trooper. Don't worry, I'm planning to make a First Order Stormtrooper ranking at some point, and that will be included in that video. But for now, we just have a Stormtrooper, but red. And I don't know, we've had like Stormtroopers that are partially red, we've had Stormtroopers that are mostly red, we've had Stormtroopers that are black and red, and this one's just red, you know? I guess it's also black and red, but it's mostly red. Yeah, I don't know. This one, it's okay. I think it also, like low B tier. I don't even know if this is canon. It's just like an action figure that I found while looking through everything. But yeah, he's like a low B tier for me. All right, next up we have the Royal Guard, and I don't even think this guy really qualifies as a Stormtrooper, but we're gonna rank him anyway. I think according to canon, like some of the Stormtroopers can advance to become Royal Guards, so in a way it's kind of like the highest rank of a Stormtrooper, right? And for that, you know, he gets an honorable A tier. You know, he gets an honorary A tier. Yeah, he's not really like a standard Stormtrooper, but I don't know. I don't know where these guys fall, and I wanted to rank them, and I don't know where else I'd rank them. So, he gets to be an A tier because he's the Royal Guard. Dang it! All right, next up we have Peter Griffin as a Stormtrooper. This is obviously from the Family Guy Star Wars parody. And I don't know, something about seeing Peter Griffin in Stormtrooper armor just makes my heart sing. And I think he gets high B tier. I think he gets to be next to Funko Pop Stormtrooper. I like it. All right, we have another jetpack Stormtrooper. And this is basically just a normal Stormtrooper with a jetpack. I don't know. I can't in good conscience put that above the jump trooper. The jump trooper looks way cooler, but this guy still does have a jetpack, so we'll just put him right below his fellow brethren. We have the Stormtrooper that punched Grogu, the specific Stormtrooper that punched Grogu. This guy gets an F tier. This guy is a jerk. This guy sucks. This guy sucks. I know it's Jason Sudeikis, but man, this character sucks. I remember when I watched the episode and he punched Grogu, I was like, we're done. F tier. F tier. Not cool. Not cool. This one is super sick. This is a scout trooper, but like fully with just like black armor. I don't know. I think he's pretty cool. I like the classic white Scout Trooper, so I don't think I'm going to rank it quite as high, but I think it's at least above the camo Scout Trooper. Next up, we have the Stormtrooper Grenadier, I think is the name. And this is another one of those that's just from like a random game. And he's just a regular Stormtrooper with a big freaking gun that doesn't even look like it fits into the Star Wars universe, really. So for that, I think I also have to give this one an F tier. Like, we've never seen him show up in anything else. He just kind of is one of those like random obscure Stormtroopers that just shows up in like a one-off game and then we never see him again. So I'd love to see like an updated, revised version of this guy, but yeah, it's another F tier. It's another F tier for me. Okay, we have the Dark Troopers, and these are technically just they're you could make the argument that these are more droids than they are like a type of Stormtrooper, but they're on this list because they have the word trooper in their name and they're associated with the Empire. So I don't know. It's just roll with it. Just roll with it. Okay. I actually really like how these guys were not canon and then they became canon again. I think it's cool when Disney Star Wars takes from legends and adapts it into like new stories and stuff. And I think the designs are pretty cool. Yeah, I think this one's a high B tier for me. I don't know. Design wise, I really like the Dark Trooper. All right, we have the Imperial Commando Troopers, and these are the ones I was talking about who have jetpacks, actually.
They fly now? They fly now!
And I feel like they're pretty cool. I don't know. They feel fresh. They kind of feel like they're slightly based on Mandalorian armor. It kind of feels like a full circle from the fact that like the original clone troopers were kind of based on Mandalorian armor, and now these stormtroopers are kind of based on Mandalorian armor. I like it. I think it could be improved by having like by the colors being slightly altered, and maybe like I don't know, maybe some of the armor being a little bit different. But I like the vibe they're going for, and I think like if it was adjusted a little bit, it could be a top tier stormtrooper. But for now, yeah, I think we'll put him right above Peter Griffin, you know. All right, this is a Night Trooper. This is another one of those stormtroopers that was non-canon and then became canon again. Gonna be completely honest, I don't love the idea of zombies being in Star Wars. I know that the Night Troopers are not like the first zombies. I know that there's like a a zombie arc in Jedi Fallen Order. I know that there's I know that like the Night Sisters have a history of resurrecting the dead or whatever. It just feels a little too magic-y for me. So I don't know. The Night Trooper design wise, pretty cool. So if we're just looking at like armor alone and like the gold cracks in the armor with like the red bands wrapped around them, kind of cool. I don't know. I think like a mid to low B tier. All right, next we have Captain Enoch. This guy's helmet is so funny to me. He kind of reminds me of like the Easter Island head emoji. Cue obligatory Easter Island head emoji with sound effect. Perfect. Like, right? Like, am I wrong? I don't know. I just feel his face kind of just looks like that to me. I don't know. I'm excited to see more of this character. I feel like I'm a little worried. He's kind of giving me like Captain Phasma vibes, where he's just a vaguely cool looking guy who just is gonna end up doing nothing. I'd love to see his character fleshed out a little bit more. I like it though. I like how he has a lot of elements of like a regular Stormtrooper, but he has a lot of new creative stuff about him. I think the face thing is very striking and interesting. All right, we have the Stormtrooper Halloween costume. Yeah, I like this. The helmet looks a little goofy, but I like it. High C tier. Okay, well now this one's great. Okay, I take back everything I said about the Halloween costume. This is the definitive Halloween costume. Maybe if you took this Halloween costume and you took the other one and put the mask over the front, then you'd have a perfect Stormtrooper costume. So yeah, I think both of these alone are C tier, but I think if you combined their forces, you could get a B tier. So yeah, I think we're gonna put them together. Together equals B tier, right? Maybe. I'd go one step further. I think when they're alone, they're C tier, right? But when you put them together, they're A tier, right? I think that's fair. I think you need to combine forces and create the ultimate Stormtrooper costume, and then you have an A tier Stormtrooper outfit, you know? This is probably the most meta entry on the list. We have ranked a Lego Stormtrooper, a Lego Stormtrooper plushie. We have ranked a Stormtrooper costume. Now get ready for a Lego Stormtrooper costume. This is awesome. I think Lego Stormtrooper costume gets to be also an A tier with the other Halloween costume brethren. This one just gets there by itself. I think just by the fact that it's like so square and has like the claw hands, it's so good. Okay, it gets A tier. Now we have the Stormtrooper Commander. This does not appear in any movies, but I don't know. I think just like blue on a Stormtrooper is kind of unique. Yeah, I think low A tier for Stormtrooper Commander. He kind of gives off like a Captain Rex kind of vibe, like a 501st kind of look. I like it. All right, if you thought I was done ranking Lego Stormtroopers, you'd be sadly mistaken. We have one more, and this is the Chrome Lego Stormtrooper that was like exclusive to Toys R Us in like 2009 or something like that. I remember seeing this at Toys R Us and being like, I really want that, and then I never got it, you know. Truly tragic, because he looks super sick, and like I was looking on eBay, and this guy's like freaking expensive now. He's like $100. If you got one of these, like you have a fortune on your hands. I think he gets A tier. How could I forget about the AT-AT pilot, the AT-AT pilot, however you want to say it. This guy just mops the floor with the TIE Fighter pilots. Come on, he's he's cool. Yeah, AT-AT pilot, cool. We have one more pilot, and yeah, he's fine. He kind of looks like a shore trooper, actually. He's just like a white version of a shore trooper. I think I'm going to put him just right below the shore trooper. Yeah, that feels right. All right. And last, but certainly not least, you know him, you love him. we have the Stormtrooper who accidentally hit his head on a door in Star Wars Episode 4. This is one of my favorite little Easter eggs or movie mistakes from Star Wars. Just this one Stormtrooper just bonking his head. And the thing that makes this even better is that they, like, in the special editions, they went back and added like a little bonk sound effect when he hits his head. And I just love that. I think that's so good. And for that, I think that this is just like quintessential Stormtrooper. He's kind of a dork. He looks cool, but he's kind of bumbling and kind of dumb. And that just feels like the perfect type of energy that I come to expect from these guys. So for that, I'm gonna put him in S tier. All right, that's the full list. This is how I would rank every single Imperial Stormtrooper. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to see part 2 of this video where I go over all of the First Order Stormtroopers. Also, if you haven't seen my video where I ranked every Star Wars clone trooper, be sure to go check that out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.